New Year, my fellow freaks. This is Mosaik, live from the Freak Sanctum, and I am back after so long. But you know what? I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm just gonna focus on the video we got here right now. 2015 had a lot of highs, had a lot of lows. So I'm going to count down some highs, because I don't want lows on my channel. It's just how I run it. Deal with it. I'm counting down the top 12 movies of 2015. Why? But I want to focus on some movies. I want to focus on the movies I felt like everybody in 2016 needs to see from 2015 to get yourselves up. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen every movie in 2015. So, I'm going to list some of the movies that I know were really good, and I didn't get to see them because I'm broke. Straight Outta Compton, The Hateful Eight, The Big Short, Mockingjay Part 2, Spectre, and the Peanuts movie. There are also some films in 2015 that I did see, but I can't put them at the top 12. Don't ask why top 12. Because I saw 12 movies that were better. But these were really good. These will include Furious 7. Those last 5 minutes though. American Ultra. Really makes me wish I had a frying pan. Jurassic World. Nom nom nom! Spy. Melissa McCarthy. What can I do? And Pitch Perfect 2. Stroke the right note with me, man. This movie was so freaking funny. Now let's get on to the actual list. Starting with number 12, we have Trainwreck. Now, I did not expect much out of this movie. I just thought it'd be a little romantic comedy, one that comes along every year. But no, this movie surprised me with a lot of real heart. And at the center of it all is Amy Schumer. I mean, she just blew me away in this movie. Not only was she incredibly funny and had great comedic timing with her co-stars, who all give great performances as well, but she really sold those moments where you have to show some true emotion. She just knocked it out of the park. Also, it felt like a real legitimate relationship. I truly believe that this could be somewhere out there. Like this, I felt like I was watching some kind of documentary or something. Oh, and can't forget about this. John C. I promise it's going to be the last one. At the number 11 spot, we've got Goosebumps. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is just an average movie Jumanji reskin. But I didn't think it could entertain me that much with a premise like that. And you know what? It did. It totally blew my mind how entertaining this movie was. All the nostalgia just shoved into this little thing. I'm an avid reader. You should know that. I read all the time. So, Goosebumps was a big part of my childhood, especially in that like 2nd to 4th grade age. So, watching all of my favorite monsters from the Goosebumps series just come to life and rain down havoc on this one little town all at once. It's just amazing. Slappy the Dummy was the best choice for a villain they ever could have picked. And he was glorious to watch. He stole every scene he was in. Also, there was a legitimate twist that I did not see coming. I looked at him like, oh, that surprised me. The turns they took with this movie were a little familiar, but that one twist, as well as the performances by all the cast and how well they worked together, really sold it for me and really made me have a good time. At el número 10, we have 2 movies that I feel are both really good in different ways. First one is Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, and next we have Paper Towns. Both of these are good coming-of-age stories. Earl, Me, and the Dying Girl is clearly the better movie. It's got better writing, it's got some really good characters, it's got some really great dialogue, and the emotion is just so potent in this movie. I mean, you really feel for everybody in it. Also, the cinematography in this movie gave some really good shots, some really great and creative shots. And I can't knock the movie for that. But, also, I have to think about how Paper Towns entertained me a little better. I felt like the chemistry between the characters in the movie was stronger. I felt like it made me laugh more. It made me feel a little bit happier. It was a little bit happier, and I like to feel happy. I don't like to feel depressed, which is a little bit more what I got from Me, Earl, and Dying Girl. Not saying that that isn't a real thing, just saying that's the kind of thing that I don't go to the movies for so much. I more go to feel happy, and that's what Paper Towns made me feel. But I cannot deny how good Me, Earl, and Dying Girl was. And it was definitely funny, and it definitely had its moments of levity. But I felt like Paper Towns entertained me a little bit more. As Me, Earl, and Dying Girl, well, also very entertaining and very, very good. I just can't put one over the other. You know what I mean? At the number 9 spot, and do not kill me, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Okay. Just chill out. I will explain. This was one of the best theater experiences I had throughout the entire year. I loved every single second of it. The performances between Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and all the returning cast members as well was just excellent. I instantly gave a crap about them and more. I really wanted to see what would happen to these characters. I wanted to see just where the story would take them. And there's my problem with it a little bit. While the elements are done very well, they do feel a little familiar. I'll let you figure that one out on your own. Still, I believe this movie can stand on its own as a good movie. Because the performances are great, the characters are all great, all interesting, and they all have relatable motives. You got great special effects, amazing visuals as usual from J.J. Abrams, one of my favorite directors. Everything about this movie is done justice, and I could watch it again and again and again and never get tired of it. Number 8, Mad Max Fury Road. Now, I realize this one's very low on the list too, but I have my reasons. Now, Mad Max was just an excellent blockbuster movie. It was a spectacle of the finest. I could not have a problem with anything visual in this movie. This is a beautifully shot film. It is a beautiful looking film. All the designs and all of the atmosphere, it's just perfect. It's perfect and it's creative and it just sells it. Oh, not just that, but the acting is just spectacular. And the characters are all just, they're simple, but they're really, really good to watch. And you really like watching them. Especially Immortan Joe, I think that's his name. Immortan Joe's wives. All of them, especially Rosie Huntington-Whiteley and Zoe Kravitz, really stand out as just these super BA characters. I could watch them all the time. My only gripe with the movie is that while everybody else got drawn in instantly, it took me a while. And I did not like how a movie like this took just too long for me to really get into all of it. Like, the movie is so fast-paced and it never slows down. But I was sitting in my seat like, okay, I'm liking it, but I'm not into it, you know? But I will admit, as it went forward, it got more and more exciting. It drew me in more and more, especially the moment where somebody gets smacked with something really, really awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. I wanted to love this movie more as I was watching it, but I could tell that I wasn't feeling it as much as everybody was by the beginning. By the middle, I was sort of getting into it, and by the end, I was definitely into it. So, there you go.
Coming into the number 7 spot is...
AntMan. This is a Marvel movie, so obviously I enjoyed it. But everything about this movie feels a little familiar. It's nothing special in terms of superhero movies, but then again, it kinda is. AntMan does a lot of things really, really well, despite it being so familiar. Like, the performances, all great. Everybody gives a good performance, at least a good performance. Some of the standout performances include Paul Rudd, who you don't really see as an action star before this, but now you can, like, wow. And Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. They really sold their characters very well. As soon as they popped up on screen, I was instantly invested in them. All of the effects and the visuals in this movie are just beautiful. Perfect visuals. I didn't expect such a great looking and such a great action-packed movie from a guy like Peyton Reed, but he really brought his A-game on this one. With some help from Edgar Wright. Yes, I know all about the whole Edgar Wright thing, but guys, stop worrying about what this movie could have been and worry about what we got, which is a nice, fun action movie that opens the doors for a whole slew of things in the Marvel Universe. Oh, and whoever made the score for AntMan needs a raise. Immediately, this is some of your best work. At the number 6 spot, we got Dope. This movie was oh so great. I'd heard great things about it, but then they played it at my college theater and I saw it and I was just like, hey, wow. Like, the movie's plot seems pretty cliche as far as these kind of movies go, but then it takes it even further and it takes it past that. This movie has some really great characters, it has some really great comedy, and the chemistry between the three leads is just perfect. It's golden. It's pretty much as good as Paper Towns. Plus, the soundtrack of this movie, almost as good as Guardians of the Galaxy. I swear to him. At the number 5 spot, completely ironically, we have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, the 5th in the Mission Impossible franchise. What magic, what deal with the devil have they made to make these movies so darn good, so consistently? It boggles the mind. These movies are just so great in terms of just making great spy movies. I mean, the characters are all fun and you love following them as they try to stop this guy. Oh my god, the villain in this movie is so darn sweet. He is cold, he is calculating. It's just amazing. The action is great. The performances are really great, especially with Rebecca Ferguson just pulling out something special for this movie. Now, number 4 is a film I hope I never see again. Not because it's bad, it's on this list for a reason. I don't know if I can take it, man. Oh my goodness. Ex Machina. This movie it's a great movie. It is an absolutely beautifully made film. Quite nearly perfect. Just, oh my god. The performances are all excellent. From Domhnall Gleeson to Alicia Vikander. Like, wow. The special effects. Oh my god, the effects in this movie. I don't know how much of it was practical and how much of it was special effects, but I couldn't tell the difference. It was that amazing. And just the way the film is shot, the way the film is so tension-filled. Like, it is saturated intense moments. Like, you can't trust a single person in this movie. Even the protagonist you don't really trust all the way. The theme of just artificial intelligence and how far we should go on that. Yes, it's been done before, but dang, this movie does it in a really interesting way. The only thing that keeps it from getting any higher on my list is that I don't know if I ever want to see this movie again. And considering how rewatchability is a big part of my criterion, that's kind of a big point. Like, this is clearly a movie you think about. Not one to entertain you so much as you think about it. And I'm more interested in buying or watching movies again that entertain me. Ex Machina wasn't really that movie. Next up is a movie that a lot of people have been putting on their honorable mentions, but they have not actually put it on their list. I haven't seen it on a single list yet. And that's Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't care if I'm completely biased. Hello, top 10 favorites list. The movie was hyped up for years and years, and it delivered. Bottom line, the action, the effects, after that first 5 minutes. The characters, everything about this movie is stepped up. You get to see a lot of new things before, like you didn't see before, like Avengers Tower. You get to see the Quinjets, like really see the Quinjets used by the Avengers themselves. The villain was extremely charismatic, and a lot of people are like, Ultron seemed too human. I mean, he's artificial intelligence. It makes a little bit more sense that he's kind of anthropomorphized. And in terms of character progression, this is one of the best movies I saw all year. Just how much farther they took these characters from Avengers. Let's face it, Avengers was the most simple, basic film we needed, and we all love it. I love it. I own it. But I have to admit, in terms of character progression, it don't go that far. Okay? Avengers Age of Ultron in the character aspect is leagues above the original. You get a little bit of Black Widow's backstory. And oh my god, Hawkeye! Finally, they made Hawkeye a character and not just a thing that shoots arrows. And he finally establishes his role in the Avengers, why he's there. It made him a character. He was already one character I was looking forward to seeing no matter what, but they took him so much farther. Also, the new characters are well established. All of them. Ultron, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, Vision. I really, really, really think this movie is kind of underrated. Okay, it would appear that I forgot to do a movie, to talk about a movie that I really, really liked, and honestly should have made my list. But I was looking at the list of movies of 2015, and for some reason it wasn't there. So I'm going to put this as a 2.5 spot. It honestly deserves to be here. And that movie is Kingsman, The Secret Service. Jesus Lord, this is a great spy movie. Honestly, it's pretty much my favorite spy movie. And it doesn't do anything too new for the spy genre. As a matter of fact, that's its point. It is an old-fashioned spy film, and it pays homage to those old-fashioned spy films, but at the same time it has its own style, it has its own flair when it does it. And oh my lord, just the action in this movie. Especially that one scene. I ain't gonna tell you, for those of you who don't know, how do you not know? But that one scene in this movie, Jesus Lord, best theater experience ever! All the action is just filmed. So, it's filmed in a way I've never seen it filmed before, even in a Michael Vaughn film. So, I was extremely glad. I was extremely glad to watch this neat looking action. Every actor in this movie gives a great performance. This is like a celebration of Britishness. all the characters, all the main characters are British except for Samuel Jackson and Sophia Boutella, who also gives an excellent performance for somebody I've never seen act before. Just everything a spy movie should be, and it takes it to another level. Moving on to number 2, we have the movie that made me feel the most out of any movie this year, and possibly ever. Inside Out. Jesus Lord, Inside Out. It's a pit slap to the field. It's so intelligent in the way it tells its story, in the way it shows its characters, in the way it lives. The movie is practically alive. The animation is gorgeous, as you would expect from a giant like Pixar, who almost can never do no wrong. The comedy is all on point. Hiring the comedians they did for all of these characters, perfect. They have perfect chemistry together, and it just works. Like, I won't say every joke hit. That's actually one of my problems with this movie. Not every joke hit me like it did some other folks, but the comedy is still very smart and it still works very well as the voice acting. The voice acting in this movie is just really, really good. Everyone brings their A game, not just on the comedy moments, but on the more serious moments. Like I said, slap to the fields, okay? And last, but absolutely not least, is my number 1 favorite film of 2015, The Martian. Everything about it is just, I can't find a flaw. I can't find a single thing wrong with this movie. At all. At all. Just, Matt Damon has to carry this movie on his shoulders. A 2.5-hour movie. He has to carry on his shoulders. He's not even on Earth. It's just him. There is nothing else around. It's just him on Mars. And he just kills it. This is probably the best performance I saw all year. The movie, you really, really feel for this guy. He is one man in a battle against the harshest elements. Any screw up, and he is dead. There is nothing. And he has to survive over a year alone on Mars. And yes, you see everybody trying to get him. And nobody's the bad guy in this movie. That's a great thing. Nobody is the bad guy. Even Jeff Daniels, who is, you could almost say a pseudo antagonist, he is just thinking about NASA as a whole. And let's face it, Matt Damon's situation seems hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. What were they supposed to think? His crew is some of the most loyal guys I've ever seen. And they play well off each other. These guys have a camaraderie that just translates straight into the film. Every other thing out of Matt Damon's mouth is pretty much a joke, because that's just how his character is. And it works. He is amazingly funny in this movie. And it's not even that awkward kind of funny, like, yeah, but you might die. No, he's funny. It is legitimately funny because you want this guy to survive. You are laughing along with this guy because you want to have the same kind of hope that he is holding on to. They really did their homework when it came to the science in this movie. I'm not even a science guy, and I was fascinated by the kind of stuff he was doing in this movie. And they actually did the research and went to professionals to make sure the science was as realistic as possible. Easily the best movie to come out in 2015. And I know my top 2 are the same as Jeremy Jahns' top 2, but you know what? That has nothing to do with him. That has to do with what I felt in the theater. That's my list. That is my personal list. I don't know what y'all's list. So how about this? Y'all tell me down in the comments, or go to my Facebook page, tell me on there. It's conversation, and I love a great conversation. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. As always, this is the Freak Sanctum, and this is Mosaik. Glad to be back.